Feast of Ashes, and the way in which his life and art intersected with the political history of the late Ottoman Empire and the Armenian genocide. Much of the empire's Armenian citizenry, primarily between the years 1915 and 1917, but continuing intermittently until the founding of the Turkish Republic in 1923. So as many as 1.5 million Armenians, as well as a sizable number of Greeks and Assyrians, were massacred. Faced the front door. On the mantel, high above the reach of a child's hands, stood a lustrous pottery vase, about 10 inches tall, covered with a vibrant cobalt blue glaze. Even in winter dusk, light bounded from its faintly dimpled curves. Large floral medallions, distinct art, a separate branch of the larger field of Ottoman ceramics. Since then, other Israeli and British art historians have also written about Ohannessian and Jerusalem pottery under the British Mandate. And a number of Turkish and European art historians have written about Kütahya ceramics. But as I began to study the literature when I was in my early 20s, I noticed that there was very little connective tissue. Çini comes from China, this Turkish word. So Kütahya, with its mineral wealth, served as a secondary ceramic center after Iznik, taking some of the overflow from imperial orders for renovations and tables with the beauty of historic 15th and 16th century tiles. The Kütahya Çiniçis worked very hard to regain the refined techniques of their predecessors. But as they focused on this revival, conditions around them were deteriorating. In 1875, the Ottoman government declared a sovereign bankruptcy, defaulting on huge debts to foreign lenders. Is covered with Kütahya tiles made between 1913 and 14. In October of 1911, Tavit Ohannessian met someone who would change the course of his life. That month, the British MP, Mark Sykes, traveled to Constantinople on a diplomatic mission. Of order and prosperity after years of trauma and displacement. In the lower left, we see Marie Ohannessian, born in Jerusalem in December of 1919. And later, Tavit and Victoria would have the British Mandate was required to be made of local limestone. These tiled decorations offer bursts of colors against the golden stone. I mean, all these buildings were. In Jerusalem, he expanded the range of his iconography, sometimes including imagery inspired by Armenian illuminations. And here's a snapshot that I took while visiting an important collector in London who has the largest private collection of Jerusalem pottery, just to show the range of colors. Middle East, Europe, the United States, and he exhibited in the 1925 Paris Exposition of Decorative Arts, the 1931 Paris Colonial. Course of researching this book in Corbie in northern France, and I will be playing a concert there tomorrow afternoon. Architects. The most complex project in Jerusalem was a fountain niche of puerta seca, dry lime tile, for a new museum funded by John D. Rockefeller to display the Holy Land's antiquities. Here's what it looks like on the inside. It's 24 feet high. In 1938, this opened to the public, but cross in the same cobalt blue as the overall design. However, on Ohannessian's altar, he glazes the crosses in black, the color of mourning. It reads, David Ohannessian of Kütahya, Tavit Ohannessian of Kütahya, in the year of the Lord 1919, established the art of ceramics in Jerusalem, and in his workshop prepared the tiles of this holy altar, dedicated at the gate of St. Saviour Monastery, in memory of his parents and all the deceased. In the year of the Lord, the tiles, as it turned out, were made in Kütahya by the Çiniçioğlu firm and shipped to Jerusalem. The joint Balyan-Karakashian workshop continued operating until the deaths of the original partners in the 1960s. Their descendants opened separate workshops with an ever-increasing variety of work. In 1954, the French-Armenian painter Marie Alexandrian married into the family and introduced a unique design vocabulary, many, many new motifs and colors. In 1992, the Smithsonian Orthodox Patriarchate Street in Jerusalem, preserving traditional designs and also creating new ones. They also make tile installations to order.